So did we decide we were swearing again?
No, we're not doing that. It's not worth it.
There's a whole other side to the equation where, like, YouTube gets to restrict your content based on that stuff, unrestricted mode.
We don't have enough viewers for that.
We want little kids to watch our show.
Do we?
No, I mean, I don't want that, but...
I talk a lot
I do.
about eating children, so I don't think that's good.
But I want it so badly.
We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing programs beyond the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news. Sometimes we make you laugh. Most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by...
CosmoMom09.
Oh, hi, I'm Bridget. You can find me at youtube.com/@punkybrewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER.
And I'm Rob Lucchese. You find me on TikTok at Rob Stuff and Things and YouTube at Rob Stuff and Things. I fixed the URL, by the way.
I just checked. It's really good. Today, before my battery runs out, we are here to break down The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon's third episode of its third season, titled El Sacrificio. Bridget, I said it right. Anyway, I have 2% battery left, so the only thing I'll say is I am not going to be here because it is Erev Rosh Hashanah, meaning the eve of the first night of Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. And so I have to leave in just about half an hour, which means I will not sadly be able to be with you guys. But I trust this episode in the capable hands of Bridget and Rachel. And with that, I should probably go. Okay, bye, everybody. See you later. It's 2 minutes
Bye,
left.
Dave. Happy New Year.
Love you
New
guys.
Year.
See you in the comments, everybody else.
And he's gone.
Yes. And hi, Sharon D in the comments. Sharon D is under the weather, and so she will be joining us via commentary only. And so we will try to include her opinions as we keep going. So Dave's going to make us do the thing. He's not here, but we'll act like he's an angry ghost that's haunting us. What does the title mean, you guys?
It means to sacrifice. Come on. It means what we give up to get what we want, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it means.
The dumb and obvious answer is obviously Justina, right? She sacrifices herself for Alba, the big thing. And then, there's teeny tiny little sprinkles of sacrifices here and there.
Daryl is sacrificing bits of himself to be colder and try to get Carol home and himself and not helping people.
I like
Although
that,
he
Rob.
still can't seem to help himself and ends up helping people anyway.
True. Yeah. It's like a grief
to help
response.
himself in the end, which is okay. It might be partly because I was slightly distracted while watching this episode, but it felt a little slow paced.
This episode?
Yeah.
I probably have a different perspective because, as you know, the reason I wasn't here last week is because I didn't watch the episode in time and then just proceeded to not watch it all week, which is very unlike me because usually I'll go back and watch it because I'm like, I want to watch it. So I watched both, not back to back, but one day after the other. So I don't know that the second one felt slow paced to me. It was a little bit slower than episode 2. I'm just going to go back really quickly to the episode title thing because Sharon D said that Daryl's sacrificing his worry about Laurent in order to move along, which is true.
I see the symbolism in it, but I don't know if it's that easy to turn it off, to turn off the worry. The symbolism is there, yes.
And sacrifice a piece of something that was Laurent's
Mm-hmm.
in the hopes that he's doing well.
Yeah.
Also, they're giving these offerings to the statue in hopes that the person that they're giving the thing for is going to be okay, right? It's sort of like a prayer for them. Is that?
So that's literally what Dave is talking about in the chat right now. He's like, Daryl's Rubik's Cube was a prayer, in my humble opinion, a ritual sacrifice.
Yeah, okay.
And Sharon D is saying a prayer for them to find their way. Because this Saint James, is the patron saint of lost things.
Things, yeah.
In a world where people are lost very frequently and easily, then you are there to leave kind of the sacrifice behind or this offering to the saint in hopes that this will help find their way home. Roberto, he mentions, Daryl's like, why? Why do they do this? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Peace, hope, maybe which is funny because it's like this old world view. Daryl's like trying to have hope in things. And then, even though he's been really cutting himself off emotionally from a lot in hopes that he'll be able to like make it through and kind of push through, there's this cynicism to Roberto's youth. It's a different type of naivety. Like instead of it being naive and like overly hopeful and overly romantic and all this stuff, which he also kind of is, it's this idea that the world sucks. Like this is what I grew up in, is the zombie apocalypse. Like this place sucks. I don't know why they pray to this. It's weird. Because clearly it doesn't work. That's kind
right?
of, yeah.
Gives people something to hope for, a peace of mind in the darkest possible world they can have, and to grab at anything that gives them light they need to, you know what I mean?
Charity said that this is really important for Daryl right now because he's so lost at the moment. Just tying it in more to the Negan comparison, Roberto has apparently been ironed at some point, or Roberto's dad. We'll come back to that, Charity, but I didn't even really think about that, honestly. I want to pull up the picture of the statue so that we can see what is on the altar to St. James. The thing that we noticed immediately upon examining this offering is that there is a jacket with the letters PPP on it. Go ham, internet. You're welcome. And we were just talking about how there's lots of little Easter eggs here. If you look over here, this looks like this might be a Cherokee rose. Over on the right-hand side, underneath this little bush next to this water bottle. There's also like a doll. There's a framed photo of someone. These look like croquet balls.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could see a little closer, but
yeah, I know. There's some items up here too. Up top, there's like these. It's like a little lighthouse. There's a lantern here. There's like a little bike figurine back here. It's all pretty rusty, so it's all looking like very much the same color. There's like a little painted pot back here, and then there's these staffs with seashells tied onto them, which is kind of interesting. And then there's some more stuff down here. There's like another framed photo. There's an umbrella for some reason. This looks like one of those baby toys where it's like got the wooden spokes and then there's like balls in it and you like roll it on the floor. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's kind of what that looks like. And then these are jars, I assume, for candles. This rock looks like it has writing on it. I can't see anything that it says.
I can't believe I didn't see the PPP jacket on first viewing. I really can't. Like that's such a big, and it's right in the middle of the frame too.
To be fair, because
like bright colors.
This shot is only up for like a second, and then it switches because I was having a hard time like getting to the screenshot, pausing it to try to do it. Not that it worked. Dave had to do it anyway, but I did not see it. It wasn't until we went back and I was like, we have to get a screenshot of this. And I was like, holy crap, there's a PPP jacket. Breaking news. Breaking news. There's a PPP jacket.
That is a big deal for them to put that there because obviously the Heath thing and then seeing it in what Tales of the Walking Dead and then this here. I'm wondering what this could possibly lead to. And I want to see Heath come back and like have that mystery solved because that's such a gaping hole in things that happen in the main series.
It is. Yeah, it is. I know she's giggling because you said gaping hole, but
no, no, I'm laughing because it would be even funnier if no one knows what this means, but they keep putting it in random places to drive us nuts.
That's really like the theory is that like they don't,
but it
really
actually means nothing.
Yeah, they don't actually have an idea for it because PPP was pre-Commonwealth.
Yeah.
You know,
way.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. We did find it on a whiteboard in The Ones Who Live. I thought it was in World Beyond, but maybe it is in The Ones Who Live.
Not The Ones Who Live. It was in Tales of the Walking Dead. The episode that starred the guy who plays A-Train in The Boys. He finds a card. He
had the card. It's on a whiteboard in either The Ones Who Live or World Beyond season 2. And I don't remember. Dave's probably right. And he's saying again, it was The Ones Who Live. And it did say that it was a type of protocol to rescue people in operations. In the last episode, he said, of The Ones Who Live. And Dave wanted to mention it's right in the opening and it does pan up really quickly. Rob, so like that's probably why you missed it. Because I missed it too. And so did Ray. Like none of us saw it. Dave didn't even see it. He saw it when he went back to do the screenshot. So like we didn't see it in the watch.
Okay. I don't feel as bad
it's
about
not
it
super
now.
obvious. And the fact that no one else has posted about it leads me to believe that it has not been seen
either.
Sharon D said that St. James is a legendary figure who helped the Spanish defeat the Moors. And El Alcazar is of Moorish descent. So that's kind of an interesting little piece of history. I wish you were here to go into a full-blown rant about that.
Yeah.
Honestly, right now.
Alcazar is the guy who is basically king.
Where he's from.
Okay.
Oh, Dave said he mentioned it in the last episode. Well, fine, Dave. Well, fine. You're right. You're always right. Get out of here. Go celebrate the new year, you schmo. Okay, anyway. He says El Alcazar stands for the palace or the kingdom. Oh, because he's the future of the reign of the monarchy. They say that in episode 2. Sharon D said we're not talking about the biggest sacrifice, which would be Isabel.
Not really a sacrifice.
Oh, like she sacrificed herself for Laurent? Is that what you're saying?
Huh?
Oh, that's true. I guess
But
she
Isabel
did
wasn't in
sacrifice
this
herself, but
episode.
like not. I don't know if she intentionally sacrificed herself though. I have to go back and watch that again. It's been a
Also,
minute.
she wasn't in this episode.
No, she's just listing off through the storyline.
Well,
like,
I mean, we
line.
could sit here for 3 weeks and
Oh,
list
yeah.
all the sacrifices that have made it throughout the universe.
That's true. That's true. Specific to this episode, Antonio is willing to turn a blind eye to Carol's typical shenanigans, typical Carol, in order to like maintain some semblance of like a friendship there because she saved his son. And he's willing to sacrifice one of his solar panels for that. Which I'd be interested to know if there's more than one solar panel or if that was a lie that he told her. Yeah, I have 2, so you can take one, no big deal. And he would be then sacrificing really his only recreation, which is enjoying these old movies that he salvaged. And I'm so glad that she mentioned Jerry because it was such a Jerry. Honestly, it was like Ezekiel and Jerry, but it was like, it was very much, she probably doesn't want to talk about Ezekiel, but because maybe she's a little bit still a little hurt over that whole situation, even though she left. It's still, how that goes. Romantic feelings.
She left, but she didn't want to necessarily leave. She just couldn't stand to be there because of the whole situation anymore.
So it was interesting to hear her talk about Jerry. And yeah, Charity brought up, I was like, didn't you risk your life for a light bulb? Yes.
Yeah.
Charity also said, I feel like Daryl has been using concern for Laurent to keep mourning Isabel at bay. Sure, that makes sense. He doesn't want to face it.
Oh, no, not at all.
Head on. But also it's compartmentalization. I've seen a lot of griping online already about like, this isn't like Daryl. Daryl helps people, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, I get that. Daryl does typically help people. That's kind of who he's always been, is like this underdog who was related to a blatant racist and kind of a redneck D-bag, you know, in the first season. Then all of a sudden he became this underdog who's like willing to help people all the time. He's searching for Sophia when nobody else is. You know, he's doing all of these things in order to show that he is a good guy and that he can be a leader.
He's human. And whenever he goes through a big loss, he tends to shut down. The biggest example I can think of is season 4, when the prison gets attacked and they're all separated. He's with Beth, but he is very distant from her until they can kind of connect like a drunk. But up until that point, he doesn't even want to talk to her. He's just like, I'll keep you alive, but I'm emotionally distant.
He did the same thing after Glenn's death, blaming himself like he was the failure. And he does that a lot. We see that like all the time. He is always fearful that like he's the problem or like he could have done more to save everybody.
That's just his coping and his reactionary system to that kind of trauma.
Tyranny said, faced with this Negan-like character,
Guillermo,
I think he's trying not to repeat the mistakes that got Glenn killed. He just wants to get out of there. Yeah, I think that makes sense. The thing is like Daryl feels like if he gets involved at this point, because of the type of person he is, he will be culpable for anything that goes wrong, which isn't true because this is a whole mess that this society has gotten themselves into. And in some cases, he's right. It's not our job to swoop in and save everybody all the time if they have a system that works for them. Just because we don't think it's right doesn't mean that we need to like swoop in and save everybody. That's not how the... Don't even get me started. Anyway.
I mean, you could argue they've been doing that, and look what's happened over the course of the entire series.
When I tell you that I was so shocked that neither Roberta or Justina died in this episode, because I was like, well, surely they've made it so far. They're going to die. Because that's just how this show operates. Meet an interesting character. They're dead, Stephen Merchant. So I just kind of assumed that was going to happen again here. I'm like, oh, great. They'll get involved and then it'll get both of them killed, or it'll at least get one of them killed. And then they'll bring a depressed Roberto with them to America. How cool. So this is kind of just waiting for that to happen. But hopefully that's not the case. I don't want it to be the case. Although clearly now they're going to be invested in Spain. Clearly. Yeah. Some story device has to keep them there.
Well, now Roberto's not going to help him finish fixing the boat until they go rescue Justina, right?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
Do you think they'll get help from the captain? Because she obviously likes Roberto and Justina.
Possibly, and it seems like she's got some friends there with her, too. We saw a couple of guys pop out with guns. So.
Well, yeah, they're a thruple.
There might be more. Maybe there's more people. We don't know.
That's true.
She might have a small army.
She's got a harem.
I mean, get it, girl.
Maybe the first time we saw that reversal.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, we haven't seen much of that. Jadis, maybe it was like the only other example really of that. Although when the kiss scene popped up, I was like, whoa, clearly she likes the second guy more.
I think I must have walked away.
Because she stayed kissing him.
Oh, I missed that.
For a minute. I was like, dang, girl. It got intense.
Whoops. I was cooking dinner. I missed something.
Sharondy said, I think this is where the rudder analogy comes in. Daryl is rudderless. He is usually so straightforward, knowing what he wants to do, but now he is just kind of drifting with no real direction other than going home. It's like his internal compass is malfunctioning. To some degree, I think that he's not wrong, honestly. You could go. I get it, right? It would be right to do the right thing and help. But also on the other end, they have other people waiting for them and counting on them. And yeah, it's not really truly their fight. Obviously, the girls are upset with the status quo. And I think we can all agree something else is going on.
Oh, yeah.
When they go to live with Guillermo, these girls are not okay. I assume that they're being offed in some way.
I'm wondering if the queen, who's like with Hottie with a hat, as you put it, she's at the head of the table and like, oh no, it's perfect. But like, I'm wondering if she's in on it and getting something out of it.
This concept of this ofrenda is only going to work for so long before people catch on. Because already you've got a guy who's like, it's been 5 years. Where's my daughter? I haven't seen her again. So clearly people are starting to ask questions. If there are several of these villages that he's pulling people from, which I don't know that there is, that's also another thing I want to talk about. I feel like he's lying. Yeah. Eventually people are going to start to ask questions and you've got to come up with a different solution. The smart solution is you keep one of the women and you bring her around to gallivant her through the towns to say, see, this is what happens. They get to travel. They get this nice life. Look, they have beautiful dresses. And so it kind of feels like, like she's part of it. She's a piece of it. She is meant to lie to these women. Well, really girls. They're young. These girls to kind of have them come along quietly. And so that the families don't start to ask too many questions.
It's funny that this episode was called The Sacrifice because when we talked during the last episode specifically about where are the daughters going, my theory was that they were being sacrificed for something.
I would 100% believe it. I don't know what, but something.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't go past that, but I'm like, he's collecting these women for something. I don't know, bathing in their blood. I don't know.
Yeah, he's just like doing a straight freak, maybe. I'm not really sure. I don't really know. When he talks about how like I have other villages, something about it felt slightly off. That's why I feel like he's lying about it and that there may not be all these other villages. It might just be this village because how would they know? They're trusting his word essentially. And yeah, he's bringing them things like paprika and stuff like that, but it could just be that they stumbled upon like a stockpile of it somewhere. Or they've killed other villages and stolen all of their goods and then kept them. And now they're using those to like keep up this agreement that he has. I'm not really sure why you would try to keep this up. But if you're looking to stay in young women, I guess, and this is a place where you can get that readily, maybe the other villages or societies didn't have that.
Maybe.
I don't really know. I mean, it could be a savior situation where they're manipulating 3 or 4 different communities all at the same time, but it seems more likely that he's lying. Something about the way he was talking seemed...
Oh, I think that's a given. It's going to end up that he's lying himself because otherwise, if he's completely straight-faced and he's telling the truth, that defeats all the conflict in the story going forward.
That's true. Plus, I feel like there's no way that he's actually royalty. That's a lie.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
He has no link to the royal family. That's just something he made up. Anybody could make that up. I could make that up. I'd be like, oh, guess what?
Be a king with a tiger.
I'm royalty now. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We've seen it before. Didn't Sherry give herself to Negan to save Dwight? Now Justina's sacrificing herself to save Alba, but also to assuage her survivor's guilt. It's really just the survivor's guilt, honestly.
I read that as sausage.
A sausage.
Like, what?
To sausage.
To sausage her survivor's guilt. I'm like, oh, that's new. It's like way over there and it's super teeny tiny.
I mean, technically it is sausage, just with the letters jumbled up.
Yeah.
It is the same letters.
It is. That's just how my brain works. Can't help it. But yes, the more I think about it and when I'm actually paying attention, there are a lot of similarities between the Negan storyline and what's happening all over the place here, really.
I want to talk about the walkers in the ocean. How did they fight a current to get back out of the water to attack?
I don't know. There's a screenshot that Dave wants me to share in regards to this. Now, Dave claims I do not take ownership of this. Also, Dave, you spelled Jason Voorhees wrong, and I just want you to know that. Dave claims that this walker here in the middle and the right is meant to look like Jason Voorhees from the first Friday the 13th movie. I am going to say firm disagree on this. He's talking about this eye in particular. The fact that these aren't even. Now, technically, I think you could make the argument that is it the angle that you're looking at? I get it. There's also a flannel. This is gnarly. I'm obsessed with this, actually.
The barnacles.
Yes. Actually, I'm more obsessed with this part right here. This is disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
I love it. but I don't know. Okay, so Sharondy's saying they did say that they would be having a Jason Voorhees Walker this season. So this might be it.
Could be that, yeah.
It's a bit of a stretch, in my opinion. If he had come up behind Roberto and grabbed Roberto like around the neck, then I would have been like, oh yeah, definitely that was a Jason Voorhees moment. That's what happens in this scene where Jason Voorhees shows up. Like this ridiculous first movie. Jason Voorhees is crazy. It's like a fake ending because it's like a nightmare wake up situation. And Sharondy is now saying, I thought it was supposed to be later in the season.
They would do the more recognizable Jason with either the hockey mask or something, like a hockey player died and looked like that kind of thing.
Hold on. I'm going to call in an expert here.
Oh, okay. I'm interested.
So there's a specific scene where Jason's mask gets cracked open. I'm trying to get a hold of my Friday the 13th expert here. Hey, which Friday the 13th movie is with the psychic girl and Jason? Okay, thank you. So
I love the immediate answer is fantastic.
Well, we're talking about it. In that movie, there's a scene where his mask cracks open and you get a good look at his gnarled face. That's what I would expect the Walker to look like.
That's fair. And Sharondy's also saying she also thought it was supposed to be a later version of Jason.
So like an adult version of Jason,
which is
not
what
when he's...
Which is what you're mentioning. Charity also said that during this scene, she 100% was sure that Roberto was going to get it. For real. I was like, Roberto's dying.
I thought so too.
He's dying today.
For sure. Yeah. I thought the same thing. A lot of these walkers took me back to the well walker too, that almost
heavily bloated. Heavily bloated. I will say, like, Dave, if we don't see another one, I'll give it to you. I showed just the Walker photo to Travis because like those aren't his favorite horror movies, but he does really like the Friday the 13th movies. So I was like, I just showed it to him. I didn't prompt him. I just said, does this remind you of anyone? Because I just wanted to see what he would say. Because to me, I saw them together and I was like, I don't know. And he was like, no. So then I was like, oh, well, Dave's saying it's supposed to be Jason Voorhees. And then I showed him, like, I like zoomed out and he's like, so it didn't click for me. And that's the thing, being a horror fan, there are certain things that I know that like Rachel and I have seen in Walking Dead IP that we've been like, oh, that's supposed to be this, or like that's a reference to this, or this reminds me of this horror movie. There's been several of those that we've noticed. So like I didn't notice it during the episode. I thought the bloated walkers looked amazing, super disgusting, slimy, good, really good. Oh, thank you, Sharondy. Quote, Greg Nicotero confirmed that a zombie modeled after Jason's look in the final chapter will be featured later in the season.
Okay, so definitely an older version of Jason.
Yeah.
Is that one of the movies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
7.
Ask your expert.
Silas!
The article's on Collider. Thank you,
Silas!
Shandy.
Is Friday the 13th 7 the final chapter?
The fourth one.
The 4th? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't really the final chapter.
Who
but
plays
yeah.
Jason in that one? What year did it come out?
1984.
Okay, thank you.
I love this. Thank you, Silas, our expert. I love it. I love it. So good. That was great. I just want to ask him questions now.
He can tell you anything about any of the Friday the 13th movies.
Okay,
He can tell you every
scratch
actor that's played
this.
Jason.
We're done. We're done with Daryl Dixon, and now we're just asking Silas Friday the 13th questions. I love that. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about, Rob, with that?
It was just the logistics of them being able to fight the current and be able to pop up back out of the water was a little like,
I'm sure Sharon D appreciates this. The Jaws
Oh,
POV.
yes. Yes,
yeah.
the jaws
What
of it
is
all.
this?
I thought it was going to be a shark. I did not
Me
expect.
I would have preferred a shark.
I
Yeah, me
would have,
too.
yes, I would have rather it been a shark because to me, the camera angle made it look like they were swimming. Walkers
No,
don't
they-
swim.
Was
And this
so
thing
low
was
to the
yeah.
floor because the water wasn't very deep there. Based
No,
on
it
this
wasn't.
camera angle, there's lots of coral and like rocks and like other formations.
Coral.
Variant walkers.
Variant
swim.
walkers, yeah.
Oh,
Got variant walkers in Europe and
okay,
stuff. So.
we've got a
Swimmers.
swimmer. Yep, the new variant.
And I could see to some degree maybe the current kind of causing like a crawl, but then they have to stay below the waterline.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very dramatic. Do not get
Oh,
me
yeah.
wrong. See, I love when this happens, and it happens so rarely now when we watch these shows. But my hands were like this, and I was like, "Oh no, oh no!" Like, because I felt like something was going to happen, and then there's like walkers. Then all of a sudden, you hear like the rustling on the beach, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be so bad." So I was just like waiting for something to happen, and that is rare now because we've been so after years of being subjected to this torture. I stopped feeling along the way.
Yeah.
And so it finally gave me like the jittery, like, and I get really excited when that happens, when the walkers are actually scary and it's not like the people that are scary.
They wanted to give Daryl not his mace, but they're like, hey, let's do something
Oh, yeah.
similar, like you
Very
did from the
close.
last 2
You
seasons.
had like a
give you
Morning
an anchor
Star
on a chain.
before, right? Like, let me
Yeah.
give you something else. I do
It
have
was
to
pretty
say,
cool.
when he was swinging it around, I was like, this is just cool. You just look cool, Norman. You're like in your 50s. I don't know how you still look cool. You just do.
Just looking like a badass.
He is.
I was yelling at Roberto the whole time when he dropped the rudder, and I'm just like,
Oh,
pick it
I
up,
know.
just pick it up. And they're like, he's like, leave it, we'll find another one. I'm like, it's right there, just grab it.
Can't you just wait like a second until you guys like kill those walkers and then
Yeah.
you could go grab it? Does
Yeah.
this have to happen in the order that you're doing it? There's all these ones on the beach. I'm like, just let Daryl kill those. And then you can go take the ones out in the water because they're like stumbling all over the place.
Yeah.
And then you can grab the rudder. It's a piece of metal. I'm sure it dropped.
Also,
the
I guess
ground.
I never really thought about it until now, but Roberto's led a relatively sheltered life if he's this afraid of walkers still.
Yeah, there's like they hold on this shot of his face when the walker starts to come out of the water and he like backs up to hide like behind Daryl.
Yeah.
And that was all I could think was, kid, you were going to get you and Justina killed. You were not ready to leave. You have no idea what you're doing. I don't know how. That is wild to me in this world, how you haven't been prepared. Because I assume you go out on scavenging trips and stuff like that.
Or
but I don't
not.
know. I guess maybe not.
Yeah, they
which
might
is,
just do farming inside the walls.
which I mean, he knows the woman at the lighthouse, so he knows some people
That's true.
in
Oh,
the
yeah, that's
area.
true.
Yeah, that's true.
But still, this is concerning. It
Mhm.
brings
Yeah.
me back to the conversations that we had about Gracie versus Judith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charity, Dad said they went scavenging before because they used to scavenge for the film canisters.
Oh, that's right. When he
so,
was
like,
younger.
You've been around this when you were a kid. Like, how are you still afraid? And granted, you should have some level of fear
Oh, sure.
because when you lose that fear, that's when you get stupid and you make mistakes, right? We've seen that too.
Look at Carl.
Yes, right. Yeah, I'm fine. It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they'll never replace me. I make it all the way to the end in the comic books. It's fine.
Wow.
No.
Terrible.
I know. Whenever I see the pictures of like comic book Carl at the end when he's like an adult, and I'm like, we could have had this. And you took it away from us. You took it
Not
away.
once, but twice. They went to give Henry Carl's story, and then killed him anyway.
Yeah, I know. You guys keep taking it. You just reel me in to like take it away over and over again. Okay, so Charity brings up a good point. Maybe there just aren't a lot of walkers because they are all in tree nets because they're getting like caught.
Maybe.
Well, we saw that walker pit.
That's true.
So
maybe the horned people are like walker killers. Yeah, that actually popped in my head this episode. I was like, what happened to those people?
Yes, I haven't seen them yet.
Where are those people? Who were those people?
Back.
Where are they? Because they stole like everything out of the boat. So like, where did those people go?
They gotta be somewhere. And then something tells me they're gonna pop
Maybe
up.
it's Lighthouse Woman's people.
And I doubt it's one of these other villages that Guillermo's visiting.
No,
I don't see them giving up one of their daughters.
No. Well, I mean,
no,
I don't see that, but we don't know much about them, to be fair.
Yeah. Guillermo shows up and he's like, give me your girls. And they're like,
I'm calling
Stab.
it now. I still think that they're going to end up being an ally to Daryl and Carol in some way.
I agree. They made them look too terrifying immediately, which when I see somebody who's supposed to be scary, I'm like, nah, they're cool.
Didn't that kind of happen with the people in Central Park in Dead City?
Yes. And it happened with Tattoo Face from the first season. Cadron, right from the beginning, I was like, nah, he's a good guy.
He did.
He wanted to be a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, we still don't know what's going on with him.
No.
Is he ever going to come
floating
back?
around out there somewhere?
Because, like...
I mean, he's theoretically still over in France.
Yeah.
Or London over there.
I assume, though, that something's going to come back from that storyline.
Well, I assume that the lady who took over for the main villain from the last 2 seasons was going to be a main player this season going forward.
Just as they're leaving to try to come back to America, like it'll all culminate together.
Not the lady that died.
No, her like lieutenant took over.
Oh, yeah. The other lady. Okay,
yeah.
I got you. Yep,
I don't remember her name.
I can't remember her name either.
It's mean, but my wife called her Squarehead.
Squarehead. I mean, when you say that, I know who you're talking about.
We can call her Lieutenant Squarehead. If Charity says if we're calling stuff, I said Carol likes dudes with cats. Yeah, there's definitely some sort of intimate connection there. Daryl's heavy in grief. In grief right now. Carol is finally moving out of her grief after how long? She's been grieving since season 2.
Forever. Yeah.
Since season 2, really, because like we don't count Ed because he was a scumbag. But from season 2 on, she's grieving essentially the whole time. You can assume in the time jump there is time in which she's not, and she's kind of living like a happier life.
The fantasy.
We don't see any of that.
She would kind of come out of grief and then immediately lose another child and go right back into it.
Truly.
Over and over and over again.
Daryl's like so hardened right now, but Carol's finally opening up a little bit. It's first season Carol in Tell It to the Frogs.
Oh, yeah.
It's that Carol, not the part where Ed is horrible, but like the part where she like makes the joke about her, you know, personal massager. It's Carol in that scene. That's the glimpse that we're seeing is that Carol. Arguably, she's much wiser. She's gone through a lot more, but it's a glimpse at like kind of lighter Carol, who she like can be. Not when she's pretending to be it, but like genuinely.
I think Antonio's a lot sweeter on her than the other way around. I still see her hesitating a little. Actually, a lot.
Which I think that makes sense. That makes sense. Yes. But it was interesting for her to try to get more information out of him and for him to be like, I think we know each other well enough. And I was like, whoa.
He's like, well, you're leaving soon anyway.
Cold, dude. Wow. He comes back later, makes her dinner and, you know, everything else. And clearly there's some mutual feeling because otherwise she wouldn't have. She honors it. She watches the movie with him. She eats dinner with him. There is some level of at least tolerance. I don't know. Feels like she likes him a little bit. He's like an attractive guy.
But it's got to be scary too, right?
Oh, definitely. And
I mean, it's terrifying to go through what she's gone through and then to see the potential of another romantic interest in front of you and think, what's the point?
I know. And what's even more curious is this is not the guy that we saw the promo shot of. Where she's like 1 inch from that guy's face.
I didn't see that.
It's like a totally different guy.
Are they this close in a romantic
no, you can't
sense?
tell.
Or is it
you
like...
have no idea.
Oh, okay.
You have no idea.
Because it could be like a stare down. Like,
it could
try
be.
me, MFer.
It looked a little bit like it maybe it wasn't.
I don't think I've seen this. I don't know to what you are referring.
Actually, they're going to call this season Daryl Dixon, Carol, the Bachelorette. And she's just gonna like find many dudes this
Yeah.
season.
Hey, party people, it's your friend Dave, chiming in as I edit this episode, and just wanted to let you know that as much as I love the idea of a Carol Bachelorette spinoff, or that this season will look like that, the man whom she is very up close and personal with is, in fact, Antonio. We actually have a clip of this in our reels and on social media, which we got from our breaking news live stream from San Diego Comic-Con this year, 2025. It made the cut. I highly suggest you check that out, as some of the things that we will end up speaking on are things that we sort of predicted regarding the season, especially when it comes to the walkers in nets. I now bring you back to our regularly scheduled podcast discussion.
I'm going to throw it out there because for me personally, I just kind of need to say it, and
Okay.
maybe I can feel differently about it next time. It's not a good feeling. So far this season, to me, our focus has not really been Daryl and Carol. It's all these other characters.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they're interesting characters, but for me, the focus is where I want it. And maybe that's selfish, but that's just how I'm feeling right now.
No, there's much more focus on theme.
Mm-hmm.
The theme of grief.
Yeah.
It's the theme of hope. It's the theme
Yes.
of love, because there's like all of these love story
Sure,
things, the
sure.
like loneliness versus being together. So there's like Stephen Merchant's character waits too long, and so then he's alone and like he's looking to find love. Then there's Justina and Roberto, who clearly are in love.
Not even romantic love either, but
No,
there's
not
love
necessarily.
between Alba and her mom,
Mhm.
between Fede and Justina. So that's just how I'm feeling right now.
That's fair.
Now we got 4 more episodes to go.
Yeah, it could change, but I understand what you're saying, because it does feel like we're getting like a lot of big picture. But I'm wondering if these last 2 episodes have really just been the setup for us to get into now finally like the
I hope so.
story. Because
I
it's
hope
too
so.
right now it's too much Daryl like hedging on the edge. Something has to happen to bring him in. Otherwise, this is just like a weird dynamic for the rest of the season. And
Yeah.
granted, Carol's going to be the thing to drive him in. Obviously, he doesn't care about anything else. He's like, I just want to get her home. That's all I'm
Yeah.
trying to do right now.
Daryl is a feral cat that someone brought into the house right now, and he is just looking
Mhm.
for any means of escape.
Let's just quote Joe the Claimer.
Yes.
I mean, Joe,
My
had a
hero,
point.
Joe the
Yes, he
Claimer.
did.
Joe the Claimer.
He's
Good
on
old
all
Joe.
of my top 5 lists. He is played by an absolute babe. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeff Cover? Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
my
Yes.
gosh. Why?
Yes.
Dude,
Silver.
the older you get, the better looking you are. Explain that to me.
That is not fair that men get to do that.
Not me. I've been getting
Sagging.
worse. Don't worry about it.
This is all starting to sag. That's all that's happening.
Women go
Are
this
melting.
direction. Men go this direction.
I'm melting
guys
and I
suck.
don't know why, and I don't like it.
No.
So, do you guys want to talk about these flashbacks?
Yeah.
Do you want to get
Go
the
for
flashbacks out of the way? These Daryl flashbacks?
Wait, I only saw one. Did I miss another one?
There's only 2 images. It's really fast. I don't blame you for
Oh, wait,
missing
but it's
it.
all in the same.
It's all in the same one.
Oh, okay,
It's all in
okay.
the same
So
one.
I did see it.
So, one, I want to talk about the fact that it's official now. Last time it was a dream. This was a waking moment this time. Granted, it's still hazy. It's kind of dream-like, but I don't know. Scott Gimple, what do you have to say for yourself? Is what I want to know. Because you said never, and yet here we are. David Zabel said, F you, Scott Gimple. I'm using the story device. 2 images. Daryl is in both of them, obviously, which there was kind of like a disagreement about this during the first episode recording. Dave had stated, I can't with this arrow. And also, why did you pick pirate as your font type?
Because
Arrgh,
that's the
he's
font.
got a black eye.
That's the font he uses for our Daryl Dixon.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Because I was like, this is a weird choice. You might as well pick Comic Sans. Anyway, there was kind of a disagreement. Dave thought maybe the child in the first episode flashback / dream sequence was actually Merle.
Mhm.
Now, we kind of talked about it. We're like, I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on that.
No, I said the same thing.
It would be okay if it was Merle. It didn't have to be, though. And this just goes to prove, like, this is kind of weird for a flashback because it's not point of view.
No, it was, though. The kid that we said was Merle was talking to the camera, which would have been Daryl.
This is the same kid running, and someone is screaming Daryl after him. So I don't know.
I don't think that's the same kid because the other kid looked older.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I find it hard to tell, honestly.
Okay. The only reason I say that is because to me, this kid kind of looks like Bud Court when he was younger, which is what I said about the other kid. But anyway, you'll notice a black eye. As you can see with this giant arrow, and he's running away. There was yelling in the background, like, Daryl, get back here, or hey Daryl, it's on the subtitles on the bottom. And then you can see in the background here, someone is coming after him out of this RV. Interesting, because this kind of looks like the Winnebago.
No, it does.
It's not the Winnebago, obviously, but it's very similar. It's very, very similar.
All right. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. The kid in the new shot has longer hair. Yeah.
It is a different kid. Okay, thank you, Rachel. It is a different kid. They're wearing different jackets, different clothes. Okay, so this is Daryl. So what's interesting about that, why is he watching it not from his outside own point of view?
From a third person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird. That's an unusual choice.
It's weird. I think they just, as a storytelling device, they just wanted to show younger Daryl.
I guess. I feel like you could have also gotten away with the point of view motion cam kind of running away and then maybe like turning back and seeing angry dad and then like continuing to run. And you can do things like have the heavy breathing over it so you can tell that they're running and trying to get away or whatever. Like there could have been another way to do this. So I just think it's an interesting choice.
Have him
but
run by and look in a mirror at some point.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's just that like, I don't know. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Okay. So this is just like a fun fact about Norman Reedus. I recently watched an interview with him and he was talking about Scott Wilson after Scott Wilson had passed. Scott Wilson played Herschel, for those of you who don't know, Herschel Green, Sr. So you have to make that clarification.
Well, the other one's Herschel Ree.
Yes, correct. That's true. He's talking about Scott Wilson and he's saying that he has always kind of gravitated towards men of that age because they're about the same age as his father. And during that interview, he mentions the fact that he became really close with Chris Christopherson, singer, actor, really big in like the 70s, totally handsome man. If you want a crush from the 70s, Chris Christopherson's your man. He was in The Highwaymen, which is also like a weird tie-in to Walking Dead because that was the name of one of the groups. Highwaymen are a musical group. It's Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, and Sharon D. Help me. Oh, I want to say it's like Merle Haggard, but I don't think it is. And yes, he was in the second version of A Star is Born with Barbra Streisand, because the first one was Judy Garland and somebody else I don't remember. But he was in the second version.
Did you say Waylon Jennings?
Waylon Jennings, that's it. Thank you. Anyway, he's kind of like well known for that era. Him and Norman Reedus became quite close on a set. And what's interesting to me is that in this flashback photo, I just need you guys to see this. This looks like kind of like Chris Christopherson, and I just need you to see that. Okay, so just take a look at this angry man back here with the long hair. Just look at his build, okay? All right, now hold on. I've got to do this. I was like looking at it and I'm like, wait a second. You kind of look like Chris Christopherson, actually. This isn't like the greatest photo, but I'm just gonna give you like a sampling. Why is he shirtless in every single photo? I don't know. I did search it, but I didn't actually mean to do that, okay? He is an attractive man, but I didn't mean to pull up shirtless photos of him. I promise. Okay.
We believe you.
You don't. Like, no one believes me. I'm not convincing at all right now. Everyone's like, she had these saved on her computer.
She's pretending to search the internet right now.
This one isn't very big, but you can kind of see the shaggy hair, like very similar. Similar cut. Okay. Also, this one is small for some reason. Okay. Kind of the same build. I don't know. Something about him. Why are those so tiny? I don't know. Can I find a larger one? Maybe. Can't you just see him yelling Daryl, though?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I can.
But that guy had a shirt on, so he needed to take his shirt off to know for sure.
That's true. I'm producers. I'm going to need you to take care of this for me.
Take that shirt off, and then we can really do a comparison.
Have you guys seen...
His shirt is on. It's just open here. But like...
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? Like that. Like,
okay,
like squint, like back up and squint and look at that. And like that looks like the guy.
Back up and squint.
Have either of you seen The Black Phone? That horror movie that came out?
Black Phone?
It's about this kid with 100 black phones. It's a Stephen King story. But the short end of it is the father in that is an abusive father. Looks exactly like that.
Oh, interesting.
So it looks like someone who could be Daryl's father in that sense, like abusive, alcoholic, stuff like that.
Interesting.
Oh.
Sharon said he was also a Rhodes Scholar who went to Oxford because
Oh, wow.
obviously I was just objectifying the man.
Let's not forget he has a brain, Bridget.
And a helicopter pilot. So he's
so
just,
a brain and talent.
He's the whole package.
Skill. Yeah, obviously.
And he's sadly passed away. So he's for you.
Oh, perfect.
He's for you, Rachel.
Right up my alley. Let's talk, maybe briefly, maybe not so briefly, about Rick Grimes' brother being confirmed this episode.
Oh, I was so excited. I've been waiting. Okay. All right, Rob.
I missed something.
Okay.
Please tell me.
Oh, it was a deep.
It's a deep cut.
It was one of those. If you know, you know.
Okay.
Well, I've read the Alien, so maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention.
Okay, great. So okay, and we'll mention the Alien again. I've mentioned it several times on the show because honestly, it's one of the best pieces of the Walking Dead comic, in my opinion. It's great. Single shot comic. Now available really everywhere in hardcover because it was so successful, about a brother that Rick Grimes has who was traveling abroad at the time of the fall. And he is in Barcelona. If you're pretentious like Dave, then you'll say Barcelona. And by pretentious, I mean I'm a white person living in America, so I'm not going to do that. Sorry.
While Antonio is changing out Carol's bandage, he says something about Barcelona
He
first.
does.
And then she says, oh, a friend of mine had a brother who was over there before all of this. And I was like,
that's such a weird way. That's great, but like, why make that the deep cut?
Okay,
like, he's never mentioned it in the main show.
Yeah, no, I know. I think that's kind of like the fun thing about it is that it's like a tiny little mention. So anyone who has read The Alien has kind of been waiting for this. We've been waiting since Daryl started. They're in Europe now. Are we going to get to find out what happens to
Jeffrey?
Yep.
Jeffrey.
Okay.
Thank you. I was like, hold on, let me grab it. It's literally right behind me. Is Jeffrey Grimes in this universe or not? Is this something that they are deciding to do or are they cutting this out? While we didn't get confirmation that it's Rick's brother, we don't know. They say it just quick enough that you're like, oh, I read that. Like, it's kind of a nothing burger, really. Like, we don't, you know, it's not really anything, but it is exciting. And if you like The Alien, then you were like, obviously excited to hear it.
Yeah.
I was ecstatic. Thank you for mentioning that. I actually
definitely
forgot
go back and watch it and catch that myself because I missed that entirely.
For a long time, I thought that it was in Carl's letter to Rick that he mentioned like his uncle, but I think he mentions his aunt. I have the letter, but I've read it before on the show, and I don't think it actually mentions Uncle Jeffrey. It'd be a lot cooler if it did.
Yeah, I can't say I remember him mentioning an uncle at all.
Right
and Jeffrey shows up at the end of the season, played by Andrew Lincoln. No,
they're twins.
no, it's gotta be Tony Goldwyn.
Who is that?
I don't know who that is off the top of my head.
Tony Goldwyn?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, he's been in a bunch of stuff. Did you watch Scandal?
No, not really.
No.
Aunt Evie. That's who's mentioned in the letter.
Oh, okay.
Because I always show this. I have this piece by
I can see him being a brother to Handy.
by Robin Overton. Unfortunately,
especially younger photos of him. Holy crap!
He's passed away.
Look at
this is Tony
Goldwyn.
Oh, that's like the perfect casting. Oh my gosh,
he's got to play
Jeffrey's
Jeffrey.
technically younger.
Well,
I mean,
in the comic,
they've changed a lot of things up. So
yeah, you can do whatever you want at this point.
Yes, he was the bad guy in Ghost. Thank you, Sharon D.
Which did y'all also catch the interview with Andy where he confirmed that they're talking about his future in The Walking Dead?
No.
He did an interview with his castmate from the stage show he's in.
Would you ever go back to it? Because it was a huge part of your life.
Yeah, well, there's a conversation happening right now, but I'm really enjoying working with this lovely lady here and this brilliant cast, and it's lovely to sort of shake it up and do different things.
Okay. That's awesome.
The Commonwealth is in Ohio. Verified. Yeah, thank you for that, Charity. So Daryl does ask, like, have you ever heard of Ohio? And so we finally get verification that the Commonwealth is indeed in Ohio, which has been...
that was already confirmed.
I thought it was confirmed too, but now that you're saying that, I'm second guessing myself. Either way, it's just final confirmation that it is in Ohio.
We might have just been so sure of it that there was no question.
we were very positive.
We were very, there was no question. We did not need the verification, but that...
I mean, I kind of figured it was far from the journey that Ezekiel and them had to take to get there, but I never really knew where it was.
Oh, okay. So it's we assumed it was in Ohio. Carol got some wine from Ohio, but they never specified it. Okay. So that makes sense. We'll let you go to bed, though. Rachel, thank you for
Yes.
being here.
Love you guys.
Good night.
Good
Bye, Rachel. Good night, Rachel.
night. Bye. Good night, Shirley.
Okay. So, real quickly, there's one other screenshot that I have that Dave got us, and it's because I specifically asked for it. I really wanted to show Justina's ribbons that she had embroidered. She's avoided being the ofrenda 6 years. Well, this was the 6th. They had mentioned 5 years, but obviously then there's the 6th.
This would be the 6th time around.
Ofrenda. So just wanted to see. So these are all of the different ribbons. And so the assumption that we've all made is that Tio Fede is pulling these and swapping Justina out for whoever. Now it's interesting that there's 6 of them. So does that mean he's always saved them because he loves her and cares about her, and so he wants to save them and remember that this is a year that she avoided the ofrenda? Or is it that he is intentionally saving her from the ofrenda? Then that brings me to another question, Rob. Does he know what's happening to the girls?
I would say he probably does in order for him to be doing that. Or he wants to, at some point, hold it over her. I got the impression that like he wants to control her in some way. So to say like, I've been doing this for you for however long at some point, and, you know, how dare you try to leave me or whatever, just to have that in his back pocket. It's just a thought I had. I don't know if that's really the way to go.
Charity did bring up, he did promise to take care of her to his brother.
Okay.
The grandmother mentions that, the abuela. Also, you would want to keep your only family close, which is fair.
True.
There is some level of control. I wonder, though, like, again, they're young. They're very naive. You remember, Rob. Wasn't that long ago for you, what it's like.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that.
And how dumb you are when you're young, and especially when you're in love, and how sure you are of everything. And it's like, but probably not. It's probably not going to be the person for you. I recall how dumb I was.
You were right on hitting the nail right on the head.
So I wonder if that's not part of it, because I talk to teens now, because there are like teen children of people that I work with and stuff, and they'll tell me about like their boyfriend, and I'm like, okay, because in my mind I'm just like, you just never know how that's gonna go. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you're young, and it's probably not the love of your life. Maybe it
First
is,
one always seems like it's going to be, but it usually
know.
doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, I fell in hard for a guy who is, I don't know, maybe not even alive anymore. Honestly, he wasn't taking care of himself. So God only knows. Your frontal lobe is nowhere near close to fully developed. No. You're crazy at 13 to 20. You're like, really? No, I would say it's like 11 to 12 to 28.
Yeah, just about there.
You're like, it's like in between there, you're just all hormones. Hormones and adrenaline and stupidity, honestly.
My 20s were just a roller coaster. It's fine.
See, for me, it continued into my 30s. So you just never know. My frontal lobe took longer to develop, I think, because I was making really stupid decisions. But what are you going to do? So I could see there being like a level of protection there. Plus, he knows that if she's in the city limits, he can keep her safe. And based on what we saw with Roberto and the way that he interacted with the walkers, I don't think they would have been safe had they gone out. They're out for less than a day, and they run into El Alcazar's men, who then are going to kill them. So, like, they would have lasted no time at all.
Well, they at least would have killed him and done whatever else they wanted.
I don't remember if it's this episode or the episode before, but Carol says something about like, where would we be without them? And he's like, well, they would be dead, because had he not interfered, they would have died. Like that was what 100%. Was going to happen. They had no other plan. And so really he's not wrong. Like all he did was save them. They're lucky to be there, because otherwise they honestly wouldn't have been. And no one would have known, because Daryl and Carol wouldn't have been there, and it would have just happened in the, whatever. And that would have been the end of it. Although they probably would have killed Roberto and then taken Justina.
That's what I was just saying. Like they would have killed him and just done whatever the hell else they wanted with her.
Oh, Dave left me a list. Dave did also mention the thing about Rick's brother. He said, or one would assume that it's Rick's brothers. And then Dave commented, in my humble opinion, almost wish she didn't say anything at all. Where's Heath? Which then is doubled down on by the PPP jacket. So I don't know. There was another thing that Dave wanted me to mention. He did also mention the Daryl's past in the flashback. Daryl did actually run away. Now, again, that story has been told in The Walking Dead proper. We knew that story, that Daryl had run away. There's a couple instances in which he runs away, but there's one story in particular that he tells in which he says that he essentially like lived in the woods for a while, for a few days at least. Really running away and doing that over and over again is kind of what trained him to know as much as he did about living off of the land.
To be a wilderness man.
Yeah.
Being able to survive on just his wits and skills alone.
Exactly.
And to not wipe with poison ivy.
Thank God. They wanted us to mention the Rubik's Cube. So the St. James statue, which is gorgeous, by the way. I just want to mention the statue itself is very beautiful. And then like it's positioned with the water behind it. It's really gorgeous. Daryl stops there on the way back after the rudder incident and drops off a Rubik's Cube. Now, Roberto says, what is that? I'm assuming because he's never seen a Rubik's Cube. I just want to mention that. Because like, when would he have seen it? I mean, they're plastic pieces of junk. They last for an eternity. I don't have one laying around here. I don't know. Maybe I would stumble upon one in the apocalypse, but I am not really sure.
Only if you raid a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, maybe. I'm going there to get the peg game for my own entertainment. Except they made it nice now. It doesn't call you an ignoramus anymore. So
I know.
Cracker Barrel, you're disappointing. You need to toughen up kids, okay? It's fine to bully them with a peg game. They should know what that feels like, frankly. We were fine. We got bullied by a pet game and we're fine. Yeah. So one, he doesn't know what it is. It's just like this weird, colorful object that you're leaving on this altar. Also, Daryl just kind of mentions maybe he's found something else by now, like another toy to play with.
Hopefully he's made it back and he's with Judith and making friends.
And I hope that too, because we've gotten kind of so deep into what's going on with this storyline. And again, this kind of brings up Rachel's point again about it not really focusing on Daryl and Carol as of right now, because I did kind of forget. I know that Laurent's like out there, but like I kind of forgot about it. A lot of the topic that we're covering is like Daryl recovering from Isabel's death, not missing Laurent. I assume he also misses Laurent, but like that's not the giant grief that he's carrying. He's carrying Isabel's death. That's the giant grief that he's feeling right now. It kind of like brought me back and I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's this other storyline.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's like other stuff happening. Correct me if you did not think this, but I assumed when he stopped, he was putting like a sacrificial item for Isabel.
My immediate thought was Laurent because it was his Rubik's Cube. It was something that you saw him physically playing with a lot.
Before he even pulled out the Rubik's Cube. I assumed it was going to be for Isabel. Now, I will say, after I thought that, I went, that's stupid. Why would you pray for someone who's already dead?
No, I mean, pray for their soul, if you believe in that.
That's the thing. So like, I am Christian, but I'm Protestant. So I don't believe that. I don't believe in praying for someone's soul because you're already dead. And like whatever's going to happen's already happened. Did I pray when my father died that I hoped that he would go to heaven? Of course I did. Do I feel like my prayer did anything with that? No, it's just more like to seek comfort. Now, again, that's just my belief. This is obviously a very heavily Catholic themed show.
Oh, yeah.
As a whole. I mean, the nuns alone, the fighting nuns, like we can all agree, it's very heavily Catholic, which makes sense because it's very prevalent in Europe. It's prevalent in the United States too. It's just that like that traditional Roman Catholicism is very prevalent in Europe. And so I was like, but that's not who Daryl is.
No, not at all.
Not that he's a Protestant. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
I mean,
if he has a belief system at all.
Yeah, I don't think so. Honestly, I think he's pretty much said he doesn't, which is why Isabel was such a refreshing juxtaposition to him. Because even though the world fell apart, that actually made her faith instilled. And we saw the same happen with like Gabriel and Herschel. Those people to me are like really refreshing to see in this world, because when your faith is really strong, you don't lose hope in hopeless situations. That faith is what gives you hope. It drives you. So it's kind of cool to see that represented because it's a real thing that happens in life. There are people who live that way, who feel that way, who are so faithful in their faith, so ingrained in it that they can have hope in horrible situations. And that's really nice because the world sucks pretty much all the time. So it's really nice to see. But Daryl is not the kind of person I feel like to pray for someone who's already gone.
Yeah, no. I could see him going to there to pray to Isabel to make sure she watches over, but there's no reason why she wouldn't watch over Laurent if she can.
Yeah, I could, and I could very much see that. But it's kind of interesting that that's like immediately where my head went. And then I was like, wait, no, that's not at all who Daryl is. He's not going to pray for Isabel because she's already passed. And which is interesting because he's seen her in that hallucination in the tunnel. And she essentially told him, like, maintain hope, keep believing. And so to see this like really defeated, deflated version of Daryl.
Well, it begs the question, do you think that that kind of vision of her will come back to Daryl at some point to bring him back out of the funk that he's in?
I feel like it might. I feel like it's kind of a stretch, right? It's like very supernatural, like kind of this weird religious component that we don't normally get in the show. But then I think back to like Rick seeing Lori and things like that. Now, obviously his mind was cracking during that, clearly. But then you think of like Tyrese's last episode.
Even Rick's last episode on the main show where he's injured and basically dying and he sees everyone appear to him in that way as well, especially Shane and Herschel.
Yeah. So I don't know. It could happen. Yeah. There's precedent for it. Does it seem like a little bit out there? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you would kind of feel like precedent has set that like you would be on your deathbed if that were to happen, because that's really like when it seems to happen in the show. But I don't know because he was hallucinating, but it is the message that she would have given him were she able to be there. Dave wanted us to specifically mention it because this relationship between Daryl and Laurent for Dave, I've noticed through these seasons, has been like very emotional for him. He really connects with that in some way, that anytime that this kind of stuff comes up, it makes him emotional to see the pain. And Norman, you gotta applaud Norman. He's always been a phenomenal actor. I'm glad that he got to do The Walking Dead because he's always kind of had like these weird bit parts, with the exception of like Boondock Saints. It's always been like kind of these weird,
just background and side characters
and stuff. He's a phenomenal actor. And I'm not just saying that because I am a fan of his character, because I like him. Truly, there's a real range that he's been able to show through this character, who is so silent. That just speaks to your acting. Like your character doesn't talk
when
that
you
much.
Can read someone's emotions when you're barely talking, that just, like you said, speaks to volumes, how you can convey your emotion just from body language and action and stuff like that. So
I just applaud him for that. But maybe you can answer this for me, Rob. You're like, you're a dad. You're also a man. So you were a son.
Okay.
So
last I checked.
For me, like, I don't connect as strongly with this. And probably it has something to do with like the way that I grew up. Like my dad wasn't around for a lot of my childhood. So I don't connect super strongly to this. Now my dad has passed since then. And like we reconciled, stuff like that. I've been very open about my relationship with my dad on the podcast. But is there something about this relationship that speaks to you like as a father?
Oh yeah, just the protective nature of it. I've only been, he's not even a year, he'll be a year in just over a month now. The experience I've had over the last year has been very profound in that sense, that things just kick in. Things I never thought about for myself in that regard. Like I've always been very close to my father. My father's always been there for me my entire life. So I've always had that close relationship. When I was growing up and my dad would be like, you'll know as soon as you have kids, these feelings that I can't describe to you and how I feel towards you. And then obviously you're my kid and we're supposed to love you, but it's just more profound than that. And then once I had my kid, like I look at him and I'm just like, I just can't imagine a world without you there anymore. So it does hit an emotional spot, especially now being a father.
Did that scene then where he makes this like offering in hopes for Laurent, did that speak to you then?
Oh,
especially in this
100%.
Scene? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And probably you made Dave cry just then, I would guess. Because that was a very beautiful thing to say, Rob, about your son. That was very, very sweet.
Love him to death.
No, I love that. I love seeing parents like love their kids. It's an amazing thing.
He just started standing on his own and he took kind of 2 falling steps yesterday, so I'm very proud.
Oh, that's awesome. The reasons that I connect with Daryl are different. I connect with him from like the abuse standpoint, like the kind of abandonment, the like struggling to fit in kind of aspect. And so this part of Daryl's story, I haven't connected with in the same way. Maybe that'll change as I become a parent. But as of right now, I can see that it's this beautiful moment, but I'm just not connecting with it in the same way that I do other parts of the show. And maybe some of it is like I'm having a hard time connecting with some of these characters.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after these messages. We just thought we'd remind you to show this episode some love by tapping that like button, if there's one to be tapped, subscribing to our podcast or channel, and if available, enabling all notifications, and sharing the show, or clips of it, with everyone you know. And don't be afraid to reach out. Leave your questions, feedback, ideas, or even concerns in the comment section. There isn't one? Head on over to ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead and leave your thoughts there. Rating our podcast is the best way to get our attention because it also boosts our visibility. And we'll probably address it in the next episode too. And if you think there's something to what we're doing here at Squawking Dead, tip us over on Ko-fi. As a token of our appreciation, you'll receive forever access to our Discord, along with 30 days access to our uncut episode and interview recordings, plus our pre-squawk insights. Take your support further. Join a membership tier on either ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead, and you'll unlock access to more channels on our Discord server, receive shoutouts at the end of every episode, and depending on what tier you join, the ability to join us on camera and mic to break down future episodes alongside us. Thank you for hearing us out and making it this far into the episode. We now return you to our regularly scheduled podcast.
To start a show and be 3 seasons in, and basically all but 2 characters throw out the old cast of the last 2 seasons to then introduce a whole nother one for the same show is a little jarring. I understand why, because he ends up in a different continent, like left them and ended up there, but like that whole dynamic then changed up. Daryl's attitude has changed, so the whole dynamic of the show has shifted.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
We're all kind of like trying to navigate where it's going to go.
Maybe I'm struggling to connect with that a little bit right now. Again, that brings me to Rachel's point. Let me preface it. I'm enjoying it. I'm not mad about it. I like the episode. I'm looking forward to watching it. So it's not like a complaint. It's just that I'm having a hard time really connecting in a way. And maybe that's kind of some of the point. It's a different country. Often things are spoken in Spanish. Now, I do speak Spanish. And I learned vosotros, but I don't speak Spain Spanish. I learned Mexican Spanish. A lot of things are the same, but like the pronunciation, some of the words, Spain Spanish is much more formal a lot of the time, which is why they have another conjugation that they don't typically use in Mexican Spanish. Maybe that's the intent, is for you to feel much like the first season where people are speaking in French and you don't see the subtitles and you're like, what's happening? I wonder if it's some of that still is there to be like, hey, you're supposed to feel a little bit like you don't fit in. You're supposed to not connect with all of these characters.
Feel exactly what Daryl and Carol are feeling in the moment. Yeah.
And maybe to that point, maybe that's why the storytelling is happening this way, because Daryl's trying to push himself away from people. So then maybe that's why you're supposed to feel like this is weird.
That's a good point.
I don't know. I don't know that it's all that. Sometimes we read into like what they do, and the people that we talk to from the show are like, yeah, that's what we meant to do.
Yeah, totally. You got it.
So I'm not really sure, but maybe that's to some degree the intent. I'm not really sure. So we'll go ahead and say good evening or good morning, or I don't know. What's that saying from the Truman Show?
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Anyway, thank you for joining us for our coverage of episode 3 of the 3rd season of Daryl Dixon. We look forward to heading into the next episode. We were joined this evening by, very briefly, the one, the only, the total schmo who said he wasn't going to be here, David Cameo. We were then also joined by Rachel, CosmoMom09 on platforms, and then also Sharon D, who was in the chat, aka Blazy Gardner. And then I was joined also by the lovely, and he stuck it out the whole time,
Rob Lucchese, over at Rob Stuffing Things on TikTok and YouTube.
And I have been Bridget, your host, apparently, at this point. And you can find me at ko-fi.com/punkybrewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. It's been real. Just remember, I guess, let me do the thing Dave does. We are squawking dead. I hate myself, actually, a little bit that I did that. Anyway, good night. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. Yeah, okay. I'm ending this stream.
Thank you again for making it to the end of yet another episode of Squawking Dead. This one discussing The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon's 3rd episode of its 3rd season, titled El Sacrificio. And in case you're wondering, we cut out quite a few things that didn't quite make the episode, only because some of it was inaccurate. Some of it was Bridget thinking that I would cut in to make fun of her or correct her on something, but I didn't. I think it is definitely worth watching. And the only way to do that is, of course, obviously to either tip us to receive 30 days access to our unedited episode recordings, or join a membership tier for as little as $4 a month. I hope you've enjoyed our newest little call to action video, which saves us a little bit of time when we're recording and looks pretty cool on the YouTube and Spotify videos. It kind of sounds good on the audio podcast as well. In other news, as I mentioned earlier, it is the second day, currently as I am speaking, of Rosh Hashanah, Jewish New Year, 5786. The Jewish calendar goes beyond the current era and supposedly starts at the year of creation, which was according to the Bible, but there are different interpretations as to why they come up with this number 5,786 years ago. For those of you celebrating, I wish you, as we say in my culture, shetisku l'shanim rabot, which means that you may live for many, numerous years, and that you will thrive throughout those years. And I think I wish those of you who are listening right now the same, regardless of whether or not you celebrate Rosh Hashanah. And I've reached the part of our podcast where we shout out our members. It's a perk that they receive when they join a membership tier. Walker's members will be scrolling on the screen at some point after these shout outs. Since we don't have any Survivors members, we'll skip them and move on to our Whisperers members, starting with at Kim.Rowley1 on Facebook. And of course, Rob Lucchese at Rob Stuffin' Things on YouTube. And of course, Rob's Stuff _ the letter N as in Nancy _ Things, THANGS on TikTok. Hopefully I will be with all of you for the 4th episode of Daryl Dixon's 3rd season. And also by then we may even have another guest on our show, and we may make another appearance on the MCU's Bleeding Edge for their coverage. They are more of a recap style. We joined them for a couple of episodes of The Walking Dead Dead City just a few months ago, and we thought it was a lot of fun and we want to do it again. So we'll be in touch on social media on those appearances. And like Bridget said, in the meantime, just remember that we are Squawking Dead.